Today we are in the Netherlands, exploring its beautiful city, Amsterdam. So I just want to warn you, I'm about to try something that you just have to sample while you're in Amsterdam. Surprisingly, it's very easy to get. You can get it on the street here, and locals really enjoy it. I think you know what I'm talking about. Herring. Oh, herring stands are all over Amsterdam. It's street food, and you want to eat it like a local, which is raw, rolled in chopped onions with a few pickles. And there's even a way to eat it, which is to hold the raw fish high over your mouth and drop it in. I mean, if you like sushi, it's fine. I'd love a breath mint, however. This is Dam Square. This is the hub of the historic district here, which is also known as the Old Center. And this, quite literally, is where this city began. For on the spot was built a dam on the mighty Amstel River, hence Amsterdam. At the time, it was just a tiny fishing village, but by the 17th century, it grew into a spectacularly wealthy and powerful city, hence the royal palace behind me, whose architecture just shouts, "We were wealthy, we were powerful." Now, as you can see, there are just thousands upon thousands of people here. This is where most visitors to Amsterdam begin their tour, and it's a really great orientation spot to begin that tour of the city. But I will say that of all the things that make this a very unique and wonderful city, none of them are represented in this square. For that, you gotta head out to the neighborhoods and be with the real Amsterdammers. Amsterdam is the capital city of the Netherlands. Amsterdam is located in Holland, which is a province of the Netherlands. While in Amsterdam, it's best just to do as the locals do, and that's put yourself on a bicycle. Out of a population of 738,000 people, 600,000 of them have bicycles. This is the main mode of transportation here. You can rent bikes all over Amsterdam. Just remember to lock it up, because about 500 bikes are stolen each day. And oh, another good tip would be to remember where you parked it and locked it up. You see, just 5 minutes out of the city center is where the real enchantment of Amsterdam begins. Neighborhoods set along canals. I mean, it's so beautiful. And there are hundreds of blocks just like this one. And no matter how many bridges you walk over, how many canals you walk along, you never tire of it. Here and off the canals, the streets off these canals, is where the real Amsterdam is and where the locals are, their cafes, their restaurants, their shops. It's beautiful. So Amsterdam is famous for tolerating two very controversial subjects, prostitution and what are termed as soft drugs. Whatever your feelings are on the issues, you gotta admit, aren't you just a little curious to see how these taboo and illegal things in our countries are dealt with openly? So behind me is a coffee shop, and let's just say they don't just sell coffee. Hi there, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
So this is my my very first time to a coffee shop,
yes.
And I don't know what to do. Do you have a menu?
Yes, I have a menu.
You do?
Here. Yes, here you go.
There's a menu. Well, look at that.
This is all the grass I have, the marijuana,
Yeah.
and this is all the hash.
Now, what's the difference between grass and
This
hashish?
is the plant, the flower.
Uh-huh.
It looks like this. And the hashish is this, and that's compressed from the flowers with oil together.
And how do you? What is the vessel that you use to, do you have joints?
Yes, I also have pre-rolled joints.
Okay, oh.
I'll show you.
Ah, okay.
It's for the people who don't smoke that much. They
Is
don't
that
have to make it for themselves.
I was gonna say, people never.
Okay, great.
And it's interesting, I love your names. You have AK-47.
Yeah.
And is that must be a strong one?
Yeah, that's the Whopper.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go.
And you get
It's
it from
very
all
strong.
around the world, or is it just locally grown?
Yes and no. And that's the part that's illegal. It's legal to sell it,
Right.
but it's illegal to grow it. But I can say that every marijuana we have comes here from Holland.
So you support your local farmer.
Yes,
That's
we do.
great. And can I smoke it outside, or do I have to do it in a coffee
No,
shop?
you can smoke it on the street only as a tourist, you know, and you're misbehaving. The police can say, you're smoking, please don't.
I see you've got a lot of sweets.
Yes, we do.
And you also have tea. Now, is
Yeah.
that real tea, or is it tea?
No, that's real tea.
Oh, okay.
That's
well, then
real tea.
I
And
will
then-
have a mango tea, please.
You want a mango tea? Okay.
I must say, it takes a little to get used to
Yeah.
being in this environment, and but it's very cozy. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice. It's
yeah.
very
Very
strong.
strong.
I can smell the
Yeah,
smoke. It's
yeah.
pretty strong. If I ever
It's
run for
strong.
political office, I won't be able to say I never inhale because just walking in here.
Yeah, it's so strong here. Different feeling, yes.
Next, a museum dedicated to an artist who believed he was a total failure. Passport to Europe returns to Amsterdam after this.
Amsterdam is a very popular weekend destination for Europeans, so the hotel rates go up on the weekends. No matter what time of year you come here, you definitely want to book your hotel in advance because the good rooms do go fast. And this city has everything from posh hotels down towards budget. A hotel that's new on the scene, very interesting concept. It's called College Hotel. It's actually run by students, which I gotta tell you, scared the pants off of me when I first heard about it, but I was pleasantly surprised.
First of all, take the name literally. It really is a hotel in a restored 19th century school building, and the staff is made up of supervised students from the Amsterdam Hotel School. They're aiming for a chic but affordable feel here, and the 40 rooms and suites bear absolutely no resemblance to dorm rooms. It's a lovely, stylish boutique hotel.
But I'm not staying at the Hotel College because I thought, now when are we gonna have another chance to stay on a houseboat?
Yep, I'm actually staying on the water. It's a former cargo ship built in 1907, and it's been converted into a lovely houseboat.
Come on, let me show you around. So, this is what the inside of one of these looks like. Very open and spacious, and mine is simply designed. I definitely had a few concerns renting a houseboat. One, was it going to move in the water? And it doesn't. It's actually very stable. Two, was I going to feel claustrophobic? And these skylights definitely open up the space. If you're tall, a concern should be your clearance. Actually, I'm short, so it wasn't a problem for me. Where do you use the bathroom? You actually just pee over the side? I'm kidding. Come here. Let me show you this one. The toilet is in this closet, and there's the shower. My houseboat has two sleeping quarters. One is right here under the stairway. The other is at the very front of the boat. But all houseboats are different. I found this one on houseboathotel.nl, but if you just do a search on houseboat rentals in Amsterdam, you can start your research from there. The ultimate question is this a good idea, staying in a houseboat? And I would say absolutely. I highly recommend it.
If you happen to be a museum nut, you're definitely in the right town. Amsterdam has dozens of them, and many of them are concentrated in a single square mile of the city.
One of the most popular museums is dedicated to the most famous one-eared Dutchman, Vincent van Gogh. Actually, it's very popular. This is the line, and they queue up immediately in the morning. Good tip to know, just go online, purchase your ticket, print it out, and you miss the line entirely. This is one of the the greatest collections of Vincent van Gogh's works, and it's laid out so that you get an understanding of the man's life and what deeply influenced him. We begin with his earliest works while in the Netherlands, here in Holland, and as you can see, now take a look at them. Would you recognize some of these as a Van Gogh? See, I wouldn't. I have a very untrained artistic eye, especially like this one over here, the one of the peasant hut. It has none of that vibrant color schemes and the brush strokes that we so associate with the famous artist. That was to come later, while in the south of France. Now here in these paintings, you really see him using color to portray emotion. He was an expressionist. He expressed his feelings on canvas, and he also experimented with his very famous brushstrokes, you know, the torturous, the tormented brushstrokes. Oh, here's a painting I'm sure you know, the sunflowers. And what you might not know is that he actually painted many copies of this painting because he believed he'd paint the first one and that would remain in a collection, sort of in a safety deposit box. Then he would paint others and that they could go out in the world. Van Gogh's mental state is almost as well known as his paintings. He was a very tormented man. Of course, he cut off his own ear. Van Gogh thought that he was a complete failure, and sadly, he shot himself in a wheat field. His career as an artist lasted only 10 years, but in that time, he completed 1,100 drawings, 900 paintings. He is easily considered our greatest expressionist. And do you know how many paintings he sold in his lifetime? Only 2. We are in the Netherlands today, exploring its capital city of Amsterdam. Amsterdam is specifically located in the province of Holland, and if there's one thing you want to do while you're in Holland is walk through a glorious field of tulips.
You can easily find endless fields of tulips and other flowers that bloom from March till May. They're planted in gorgeous rows of bright reds, saturated purples, vibrant yellows, and they all seem to be deliberately laid out for our pleasure. A popular day trip is just 30 minutes outside Amsterdam in the town of Lisse, the Keukenhof Gardens. Keukenhof means kitchen. In the 14th century, this land was used to grow herbs and vegetables for the kitchen of the Countess of Holland. Now, it is where you can see over 7 million bulbous flowers. But of course, the star here is the tulip, which shows itself off in over 500 varieties. It's become one of the Netherlands' most important exports.
He asked me where tulips came from. I'd say Holland, of course. And I would be wrong. Their original homeland was Central Asia. They made their debut in Holland in the late 1500s. And just looking at these perfectly friendly flowers, you would have no idea the hysteria they caused. The tulip was the status symbol for 17th century Amsterdam. The demand so far exceeded the supply that bulbs were selling for as much as an exclusive canal front home, and traders in the bulb business were making up to $35,000 a month. Did you guys know that? They're all bobbing their little heads. Oh, we knew. It's no doubt that Amsterdam is an endlessly charming city, but it does have its very dark moments in history, especially during World War II, when the Nazis occupied the city and began their terrorization of the Jewish community. By the end of the war, only 1 in 16 Jews in Amsterdam survived. And this is a story that, for most of us, would have been too unbearable to comprehend had it not been for the diary of a young girl.
The girl is, of course, Anne Frank, a Jewish teenager who hid with her family in a secret room in the back of her father's business. They stayed there completely isolated for 2 years.
Anne Frank, along with her family, went into hiding here at 263 Prinsengracht, and it is here that she wrote her diary.
The house and the secret annex has become one of the most significant attractions in Amsterdam. People from all over the world know the name of Anne Frank and the life she wrote about.
This bookcase marks the entranceway to the secret hiding place. this is Anne Frank's room. It's a lot smaller than I had imagined it to be when I read the book. And it's where she wrote in her journal, and I must say it just makes you smile, because what does she have pasted all over the walls but celebrities, you know, glamorous film stars just staring back at her. There's also a picture postcard of Her Royal Highness the Princess Elizabeth of York, who of course is Queen Elizabeth now, but looks to be in this postcard, you know, close to the same age as Anne Frank. And this room to me really represents why Anne Frank and her writings were so adored, which is because even though it seemed like the world was against her, she still managed to be a typical teenager.
In October 1944, the hiding place was discovered and raided. No one knows how the location was leaked, and the family was sent to a German concentration camp. Only Otto, the father, survived, and he was instrumental in getting his daughter's diary published.
It is no surprise by her simple and eloquent writing style that Anne very much wanted to be a writer, and she dreamed that one day her writings would be useful and bring enjoyment to all people. Pretty lofty ideas for a young teenage girl. But as of today, the Diary of Anne Frank has been published in over 65 languages, where it has been read by tens of millions of people and is considered to be one of the most important historical documents of the 20th century. So I am in Amsterdam, which no tour of the city would be complete without a lovely walk through the red light district, which is sort of a mall of debauchery of sorts, a shopping area where you can pick up drugs, a prostitute. And joining me is my friend Bridget here. Very nice, because it wasn't a place that I was comfortable with walking alone. Was that a good assumption, or would I be okay here?
No, don't you worry, you would be okay. It's a big tourist attraction. Okay, it's not the most distinguished place in the city, but still, it's okay.
And prostitution is legalized here.
It is, and it's a very good idea actually, I think, because now they can be very sure that all the women behind the windows are 18 years old,
right,
and they are legal in the Netherlands. They are not illegal people, there's no trade in women or whatsoever. So they have to be registered.
Right, right. And they actually bring in tax dollars. I mean, they have a union
that's
as
right.
well.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
They have a
amazing
union.
to think about.
Yeah.
They are behind glass. We can't photograph them. And even if you came here with your little camera, you would not be able to photograph them. They're
No.
very protected by people you
right.
don't even see. They'll come out, they'll tell you to put your camera down. So there are people watching them, making sure that they are
That's
okay
right.
and safe.
Yes.
What do? Do you knock on the window?
They open the window as soon as they see you are interested,
Right.
and then they'll settle the price. That's the first thing they do. They have a
Okay.
minimum price, of course, and then they invite you in, and it takes 20 minutes. So that's how it goes. It's funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, there are a lot of people here, and it's amazing. You see people that are a little on the weird side, and then you see like moms, dads,
Yes.
grandmothers.
Yeah, but it's also inhabited, and that's so important,
People
There's
live
people
here.
living here. Wow. Upstairs, normal families live. There's even a kindergarten. There's an elderly home. And there's social control and social cohesion in the area, and that's what is important.
I knew I was going to feel more comfortable in a well-established pub, and Bridget knew exactly where to take me.
So now we have ended up in a brown cafe, or this is the term of the place that we're in, and it's just sort of the traditional sort of pub here in Amsterdam.
That's the only pubs we have.
The only pubs you have.
No, but the nicest pubs are the brown cafes, that's right.
And why do they call them brown cafes?
Well, maybe you should lift something which is on the wall, and you can see that the wall has turned brown in the course of time.
So tobacco-stained walls.
That's right.
We're in actually
Yeah.
one of the oldest brown cafes. Yeah, you head here and you have good conversation, and it's turned.
And you talk to everyone who you don't know yet, but you will get to know
Now,
them.
what is your name?
I'm Mark.
Mark, I'm Samantha.
Hi,
nice to meet you. Really, you just sit next to people and you start up a conversation, which is really the Dutch way, I find. Very friendly people here. What's interesting to an outsider is that really Amsterdam, the reputation is such that you feel like the entire city is run by drugs and prostitution. And yet when you spend any time here, it's just such a footnote of this city. I mean, really, you don't even have to, you don't even have to stumble upon it if you don't want to. I mean, have you ever had any experiences where you didn't realize you were walking into a cafe?
Well, did you?
Yeah, actually, I was once with my parents in Amsterdam and we were just to have a coffee. So we went to a coffee shop and ordered the coffee and everything went fine until some people started to smoke and then my parents sort of freaked out like, what's happening? So
My
we all
mother
went
as
in
well.
there.
She came to Amsterdam and she bought a nice little plant and it was a cannabis plant. She came home. It was in the Vondelpark, you know, and there were just teenagers selling plants. She said, I liked it so much.
She was just helping the teenagers.
Yeah, but she loved the plant. I don't know how it survived, but anyway.
Amsterdam is very different from other European cities that, like it, experienced a time of incredible wealth, power, and prestige. Those cities built massive cathedrals and 1,000-room royal palaces. Amsterdam really doesn't have anything like that. What it does have, as a testament to its glorious past, are the homes and buildings located along the canals. And as you saw today, these aren't some monuments to the past. They're actually very much a part of Amsterdam today. Amsterdam has plenty for the visitor in search of its history. Just don't forget to see the city that's right in front of you. If you want to learn more about what I did in Europe, talk about the show, or check out my photos and journal, log on to Travel Channel at discovery.com. See you there.